Hello, guys. Good evening. I hope we are live and you can hear me loud and clear. So, this is Harsh from Shape AI. As you must know, like you must be
Hello guys,
watching
good
our
evening.
earlier boot camps. So, here we have one special guest from Postman. So, you might be aware of Postman. Postman is actually a SaaS product that is actually used to test various APIs out there. Whether you are a developer or a security folk, you must be like came across this Postman, right? So here we have Ali Mustafa from Postman. So over to you, Ali.
Thank you so much, Harsh, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I've shared my screen. If you could bring that up, that would be really good. Yeah, folks, I see a lot of people joining in. That is awesome. So let us wait for a few more minutes, and then we will kind of get started. Till then, you folks can mention from which city you folks are joining, or from which institutes you folks are from. That will definitely help us out. So yeah, hello Jitendra, hello Ishan, hello Rohit. Good evening. It's not evening, I guess it's almost night. So yeah, hello Sai, hello Avinash, hello everyone. Looks good. Looks that a lot of people are joining in. Okay, Indore. Okay, Jitendra is from Indore. What about others? Um, hello Varun. Okay, let's see other people. Where are all of you from? Come on, folks. Before we get started, obviously, we will get started really soon. So maybe you can mention your city name or anything else, and yeah, we can get started then. Remember, we are also giving away a lot of swags, right? At the end of the day, so everyone in India is eligible to receive the swags. There will be a very small competition at the end of the day based on the session. So make sure you listen to the session very, like listen to it properly, and then it will be good. Coimbatore, awesome. Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Jamshedpur. That is awesome. Andhra Pradesh. Okay. This looks really good. Cool. So let's get started. Okay. Oh, we have Alice from Belgium as well. That is awesome. Okay, Mangalore, Ghana. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining in. We have around 50 people already joined in. So this is awesome. This is going to be fun. Remember, this is a complete hands-on session. Okay. And I expect you to kind of follow along with me. So if you have anything you want to ask, you can definitely ask in between as well, and we will follow along each other, and then kind of do the hands-on with us, because the competitions are based on hands-on. So it is recommended that you do it with me. So without wasting much of a time, let's get started. So my name is Ali Mustafa, and I'm a student committee manager here at Postman. I'm also a GDG Cloud Mumbai co-organizer, and I love kind of delivering sessions and talking with people. In the image, you can see obviously this is pre-pandemic image, and not a recent click, but I miss these images where we would interact with you folks live, in-person events. But yeah, not a problem at all. Yeah, you don't need Postman, Bharat. You actually don't need Postman to be installed. You can actually use the online version, and that is totally fine. Cool. So yeah, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, Dially Mustafa, and stay updated around everything which I do. I usually manage the student community here at Postman for our Asia Pacific region, and we come up with different programs. Like we have two major programs: Postman Student Leader and Postman Student Expert. We'll definitely talk about it as the time permits, but let's get started with the session. So this session is for every beginner out there. Okay. So if you have absolutely no knowledge about APIs, this session is for you. Even if you have small knowledge about APIs, then this will help you understand how to use Postman and how to get started with collaborative development, while working with APIs. So we'll talk about what are APIs, we'll talk about request responses, we'll talk about, hands-on exercises, and then we will talk about swags, some tasks which you can do, and on swags. As we have kind of like made the swags available for everyone, so anyone from India would be eligible to kind of go ahead and get the swag. Okay. What is an API? An API, in a very simple term, is like a restaurant. If you have ever been to a restaurant, you go, sit at a table, and then the waiter comes in and asks you what you want, gives you a menu. This is where you actually kind of, request something from the waiter, and then he goes to the back end and then kind of prepares your food and then brings it back. Remember, the main idea around this whole system is abstraction, meaning that you do not see what is happening on the back end. You are more comfortable that you're getting your food, and the whole abstraction is hidden from you, so you're happy with it, right? So at the end of the day, you're not looking at how this guy is cooking and everything else, because you are kind of served hot food and you really like it, right? So even in terms of APIs, it is very very simple. There's a client, there's a server, and APIs help us to interact with the service, and kind of get an overall idea that, okay, this is what the client is requesting, and then this is what the server is gonna kind of get back to the client. In basic terms, APIs are literally everywhere. You will see the APIs everywhere. ATM, you go to ticket counters. If you've ever used a payment app like Google Pay or Phone Pay or Paytm, you have seen APIs are used there day in and day out. So if I talk about a bit of a technical example other than the restaurant example, because that is more quite a common example. How many of you use social media, or you use Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn? LinkedIn is no more than social media these days. But yeah, yeah. Give me in the chat. What do you use? Which platform do you use? Mm-hmm. Do you use Instagram? No. Do you use Facebook? Yes. No. No. Okay. Let me have a look at the chat so that I can see if anyone is kind of available. Insta. Okay, Jitendra says Insta. What about others? Chrome. Chrome is not a social media. Instagram, Twitter. Okay, Telegram. Oh, Telegram. Okay. Um, I only use one social media, which is LinkedIn nowadays, because you get everything in LinkedIn nowadays. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so let's say, for example, you'll consider Instagram here. So let's say you want to go and upload a photo of this session, right? You are excited about this session and you want your followers to know that, like you're an influencer, right? So you want everyone to kind of go ahead and know that, hey, you are attending an awesome session on APIs. So what are you going to do is you will open your Instagram app, click a good photo, and then upload it to Instagram service. So let's see how APIs helps us there. Okay. So the very first thing you'll do is open Instagram and open camera app, right? Slide it, and then the camera is open. Now, Instagram is a software. Your camera is a hardware, right? Now we need to interact. The software needs to interact with the hardware, and this is where you see a very, a very simple level of API interference, where the camera allows Instagram to access it and kind of secure it for a specific number of period, so that it can click photos and videos, etc., and then kind of Instagram can process it. Okay, so a very simple use, a simple library, a simple API. Now, once you add it to your Instagram's interface, if you are a creative person, you would add GIF, you will add song, right, and all that crazy stuff. But if you're like me, you'll just hit send and then it goes to the Instagram server, right? So if you're using GIFs and everything, you are using actually a public API which enables you. So if you know, Instagram uses Giphy for their GIF repository. So they don't own these GIFs. So any GIF which you see in Giphy, you can actually use it over Instagram very, very easily. Okay. So this is a very good example of how a public API is used. So Instagram owns Giphy? No. Can you use Giphy in your own application? Yes. Why? Because its public API is available for everyone. So you can go ahead and you can use it and extend the functionality of GIFs in your own application. Okay, how awesome is that? So this is an example of a public API. But Instagram uploading the story to their private server is an example of a private API, which is not accessible to everyone. It is Instagram's private APIs, and that is how they allow other people to see your story, etc., etc. So public APIs, private APIs, third-party libraries, and hardware level APIs. So there are tons of APIs available in this world. But today we are going to discuss about public APIs only, because majorly you use public APIs. to kind of integrate your applications, with other functionalities which you like. Okay. So here we are going to talk about, a simple API developed by a team, which is, like the joke, quote, and book API, which will work together. Okay. So what is an API at the end of the day? Application programming interface. That is a definition. But what is actually an interface? An interface is literally anything which can communicate with the server and then, fetch the response and display it on the screen. For example, your mobile phone is an interface. Your laptop is an interface. The machines which you see in airport is an interface where you kind of, add your PNR and you get your ticket. You go to an ATM, your bank is X, but you go to a Y ATM and you're still able to withdraw money. Why? Because it uses, APIs and enables you to withdraw money even if the ATM does not belong to your bank. Okay. So everywhere you will see, APIs are used. There's an API for cat. If you don't like cats, there's an API for dog. If you don't like dogs, then I don't know what you like, but there would be an API for that for sure. Okay. So majorly you will see that, in your day-to-day life, you might have used sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, sign in with GitHub, Discord. All of these have amazing APIs which you can use in your day-to-day life. Okay. So why do we talk about APIs so much? As we see, the development is shifting towards API first approach. Okay. So earlier we used to develop monolithic applications, which were huge but single. Iteration was difficult. Everything was difficult. So people started developing APIs for their functionalities, individual APIs for individual functionalities. And that is how the rise of API has happened in the industry. You will see that everyone, literally everyone, uses APIs, even internally and externally, to make sure they develop features faster, create microservices, and enable faster development, and also able to share that with other people in the community. And that is how the rise of APIs kind of, have taken, new heights in this recent years. And that's why I compare APIs with Lego bricks. Lego bricks are very simple. Have you ever played with Legos? Anyone played with Legos earlier? Let me know in the chat, maybe, if you have ever played with Legos. Legos were fun, right? They were plastic blocks. You could attach them together and then, detach them. The only limit there was your imagination, right? Apart from that, everything, you could do anything with the Legos. I used to, create bridges, then transformers, and whatnot. But yeah, Legos were really, really good. The whole idea about APIs is we want to turn software into Lego bricks. We like a feature, we want to integrate that with other features. We don't like a feature, we just remove it and then replace it with another feature, and so on and so forth, right? So the whole idea around APIs is to turn software into Lego blocks, where you can attach things, where you can kind of detach things as you feel like, and as per the customer requirement, which is something which the modern, methodology of software requires you to do. Cool. I see a lot of people have played with Legos. Some of them haven't. If you haven't, then you should definitely go ahead and try out Legos. They are fun to kind of play with. Okay. So what is Postman then? Like we talk about APIs, and what is Postman? Postman is a collaborative API development platform. I emphasize on the word collaborative because that is very, very important in a world where we all are kind of working from different places and we want to connect together at a single place and work together. Okay. Around 98% of Fortune 500 companies use Postman as their API platform. Around 65% of global 2000 organizations use Postman. 500,000 plus organizations use Postman today in their digital life. Big companies like PayPal, Uber, Walt Disney, and Kroger, Philips all use Postman as their API platform, which enables faster development of API and kind of, they leverage a lot of features which Postman provides them, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's about Postman. If you have ever worked with backend APIs, you might have definitely come across Postman as a tool. So yeah, that's about Postman. Again, why was Postman invented in the very first place? The whole idea, the whole story around Postman was that earlier people used to use call commands, and call commands were great, but uh, collaboration was missing. You could not collaborate with people. It was difficult to analyze the results and understand what is happening behind the scenes. So it was difficult to kind of walk around with APIs, and that's how Postman was born as a Chrome extension. But today is a full-fledged web app and a desktop application which you can download and run across. So yeah. Um, so before we move on to the hands-on exercise, there are two more theory parts which I want to cover, and then we will go ahead and talk about the practicals. How to do the practicals and how to work with your very first APIs if you're a newbie. Okay. So the very first part in practical is request, and the second part is response. So if you want something from the server, you're going to send a request to the server and wait for the response, and then the server will respond back saying that, hey, thank you for requesting this, I can give you access to this, or you're not authorized, or the request you have sent us is a bad request, and so many different stuff, right? So let's start with understanding what is a request. Okay, so whenever we talk about a request, the whole idea of request response pattern is very simple. There is a client and then there is a network. You send a request to the server, and then server processes that request and then gives you a response. Okay, so this is how the simple request response pattern works in any given application. So whenever you're making a request, there are three things you need to take care: the method, which is usually called as an action verb; the address, the endpoint basically, and the path where the resource is located. Okay, just to give you an example, I'll show you a very simple diagram. Okay, so this is a very simple demo. Let me show you a very simple demo. Okay, before we begin our hands-on. Oops. Let me log in into Postman and show you a quick demo of how we can use Google as an API. So let's go and let's send a request to www.google.com. So what we are doing is we are sending a very simple request, a simple GET request to www.google.com. Okay, let us go and hit a send, and let us see the response. So you can see the response is HTML, so we can kind of preview this, and we see the homepage of Google. The CSS is broken, that is fine, not a problem, but we can still access google.com via the API. Very simple. Let's try to do something different here. Let's add a query parameter Q. So what I can do is I can either add it directly in the URL, or I can go ahead and add a query parameter Q here. Okay, and then mention the value as, let's say, Postman or DevFresh, because DevFresh is nearby. So I'm going to use DevFresh India as a query parameter, and then hit send. Okay, what happens now? The DevFresh India is written inside the text box, right? But you should get a search result, right? So if I go here and I search for DevFresh India, I see the search results. I see all the amazing sessions which are going to happen in DevFresh and everything, around DevFresh. So why I'm not seeing that here? Reason, very simple reason. Why? Because the path which we are searching for is different. So we added the URL, we added the method, we added the query parameter, but we forgot to add the exact path. So what is the path? The path is search. If I add that and now I hit a send request, what will happen is I'll see the same search result of DevFresh India inside Postman client. How cool is that? So you can see in a very simple way, I could use Google search as an API and understand how it works via Postman's very simple UI usage. I can also save this response so that my teammates can look at it later on, and they can kind of see it later on as they are searching for the same queries. Now, one more thing which I want to show you is, let's say if I directly go and kind of search for DevFresh India, I see that the URL here is pretty big. So let me copy this URL. Let's go back here and let's paste this URL here. Let me see what are the parameters which Google is sending from my browser. I hit send, and here you can see automatically it fetches all the query params like Q, EI, VED, UAT, something, something, something. I don't know what Google is doing with this data, but definitely it's collecting a lot of it, right? In terms of query parameters. So you can also kind of, inspect long URLs and see what they are actually requesting in the URL. You want to wire the Postman's simple UI interface. Now, if you're a nerd, obviously you want to see the console. So you can click on console on the bottom and you can see all the requests which you send and see how it would look like in call if you send it via the call command, which is also really awesome for people who really want to see the real request response and then a UI version of the same. Okay. So that is exactly how you can kind of use Postman for a very, very simple request. Okay. So here we saw that there is a URL, there is a method. The very first thing, there is a method. So there are multiple types of method. Get to retrieve information, post to send information, put a patch to update information, and delete to delete information. These are the basic four CORD operations, like you do in database, right? CORD operations. So here we have these four methods: get, post, put, and delete. Then we have the URL. The URL is responsible to send our kind of request to the server. The URL is divided into three different parts. The first part is the protocol, HTTP protocol or HTTPS protocol, or a WebSocket protocol, or any other protocol which I can go ahead and use for my API. The second part of this URL is basically the host where the server is residing. It can be an IP address, it can be a subdomain, it can be the main domain, it can be anything. In our case, it is www.google.com. And then the last part is the path where the resource is located. As you saw that when we queried only google.com, we did not receive anything. But when we queried google.com/search, we received something in response. So path is where the resource is located. Cool. So we have kind of, zeroed down the few aspects of making a request, right? Method, URL, and the path. But few things, there are more in addition to these. For example, there are query parameters, like we saw here, multiple query parameters. Then there are authorization. Not everyone is allowed to query google.com, right? So because it is a public search engine, obviously you can query it. But if you want more functionality, like you want an API which is behind an auth wall, you will need an API key or you will need an author token. For that, you will have to authorize yourself. Okay. So authorization comes into the place, which is also handled by Postman. So here you can see there is an authorization tab here. While you're sending a request, you can see the authorization tab. And based on that, you can kind of select the authorization and be like, okay, I'm gonna kind of add the API key, or I'm gonna use a basic auth or anything else. Okay. And then comes body, headers and body. Headers is nothing but metadata about the request which you're sending. And body is where if you're sending something to the server, let's say post request or a put request, you might want to send a body with it. Reason, because you're sending something to the server, you want to add it as a payload and not just as a query params, because then that will be too much long as a URL and it is not that much secure. So we add it as a payload. Okay. So there are multiple types of bodies. Obviously, there are form data, JSON, text, etc., etc. In this session, we are going to use JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. What does JSON do? Very simple. Key value pair, there's a key, there's a value, and then we kind of use a key value pair to send our data to the server. Okay, very, very simple. In most of the REST API, you will see JSON as the body type. But yeah, not necessary. You will also see XML, you will also see form data or text or GraphQL as well. Depends on what type of API you're working with. Then comes the last part, which is receiving the response. Once you send the data, then you receive the response, right? So there is a status code. For example, if you come here and when we send this request, we received a response and we received a status code. Okay. Now, if you hover over the status code, it says that standard response for successful HTTP request. What does that mean? That means the request which we sent was successful and we received the response as expected. That's why it returned 200. If it was 201, it would be created. It created the resource, usually used for post request. Okay. If it is 404, tell me what it would be. If you receive 404 status code, what that would mean. Till then, I'll have a sip of water. Come on, folks, it's very easy. Yes, if I received 404, what would that mean? Till then, I'll have a sip of water. Thank you so much. Error, page not found. Okay, means what you were looking for, you did not find that. Okay, and that's why you received an error. Okay, so 404 not found. Very, very simple error. Okay, so your status codes helps you to understand if your request was successful or it was not successful. Okay, so status code are very, very helpful. Then comes the body. What is the body? Body is the gold mine. That is where you know, every part, the whole data is located, right? I always say it, body is gold mine because data is no less than gold, right? Or I would say IRCTC seeing its shares soar really high. So yeah, body. Body is really, really important because this is where we are going to decode this data and publish it in our application. Okay, and Postman also provides you a code gen feature, meaning that once you receive a body, you can actually write a code to send exactly the same request and receive a response in different languages. Obviously, you'll see all these features later on, but just as an idea, I wanted to show you how it also generates a code which you can use it, in your application as well. So that's about this. Let's move back to the presentation. It's time for hands-on exercises, folks. So let's get started. So this is the URL. I'm going to share this URL in the chat right now so that you folks also follow along with me, because I want you folks to kind of, walk with me and not just watch me do things, right? It's not a magic show where I show you all the magic. You have to do it yourself as well. So I'm sharing the URL in the chat. I'll spam it 2-3 times so that people who come later on as well are able to see it. Okay. So go to this URL and it will open a window like this. Now what you see on the top is called as a public workspace. What is a public workspace? The whole idea of a public workspace, imagine this as a GitHub, a GitHub repository. It is a repository of all your APIs and collections and everything which you can share publicly with people so that they can collaborate in the real time. How does that happen? Let us see in live example. So let me go to basics of API and let me go to the comment part here. So you can see comments here, the second part, comments. Okay. So click on basics of API, click on comments, and it will load all the comments. So I'll send the comment URL as well in the chat and click on add a comment and say something. Say hello from Mumbai, or hello from YouTube, or hello from you know you can mention anything. Okay, so you can see there are people, hello, I am into Postman. Hello, your name. Okay. That is not expected, but yeah, something similar. So yeah, go to the comment section and add a comment. Again, I'll share the URL with you folks, but yeah, it is the same URL. Just click on the comment, the second part. The first part is documentation and the second part is comment. So go there and add a comment. It is real time. So as soon as you add it, I will be able to see it right away. Okay. Remember, you need an account to add a comment. So see, I see a comment from Dinesh. Hi, hello Dinesh. You need a Postman account to do that. Account is totally free. Okay. So remember, this is public. No, it will be public forever. So don't worry. Public workspaces are public forever unless and until the people decide to kind of make it private. But yeah, they will be public for a long period of time. So I see two more comments. Hello from Hyderabad. Hello Sejal. Hello Gridhar. You need to create a Postman account. So see, if you open Postman, right, you can create a free account which does not require any money. If you're a student, we have student plans. If you're a non-profit, we have non-profit plans for you as well, which is completely free for non-profits and educational initiatives. So yeah, as a student, you don't need to worry about any money part there. It's completely free for you. So yeah, go ahead, create an account and give me a hi here. Hello, Siddharth. See, I can also mention people. So I can mention here Smith and say that, hey, Smith, see all this engagement, right? See this, comment, etc. So I can comment that as well, and it will send him a notification saying that, hey, Ali mentioned you in a comment. So it is a collaborative platform. That's what I emphasized on, right? So how to comment? Okay, let me show you again. So go to collections, go to basics of API, click on that. Once you click on basics of API, on the right hand side, you will see a very simple or a small icon here on the right hand side, like documentation, comments, change log, version control, and everything. So here, if you add that, you can see hello from Boston, MAUSA. That's awesome. Um, okay, so here you can see, and you can then go ahead and add your own comment. Okay. Come on, folks, be quick. Okay, two more comments. Very excited. Hello, Ronit. Yeah, Dinesh, I saw your comment earlier as well. That's awesome. I see one more comment. Hello, hello, Sumit. Hello, I am Hyderabad. You are not Hyderabad, bro. You are from Hyderabad. Okay. Not a problem. You can go ahead and comment there. No problem. Okay, I see four more comments. Jitendra, hey, hello, hi. Yeah, you can see hi, sir. Okay, that is good. Awesome. Amazing. Okay. Okay, so now let's see more. Let's go in and see more features. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a copy of this collection so that we can walk around. Yes, Saya, Kwisi, Saya, Kishan, this is awesome. Thank you. I am Sri Lanka. Comment, folks. Say I am from Sri Lanka, not I am Sri Lanka. You're not Sri Lanka. Okay. So go ahead and create a fork copy of this. Okay. Else you can click on this button, click on documentation and run in Postman button. So you can click on run in Postman button and that will run this in Postman. Okay. So before you start anything, the first thing you need to see is the documentation, right? So you can click here basics of API, three dots and click on view documentation. Click on view documentation and it will open the documentation. Inside documentation, you can click on run in Postman button. Okay. So you can click on this button and it will navigate you through all the process. So click on this button and it will open a new tab and open something like this. Okay. So let me share the document link right into the chat so that you can directly open the documentation right away. Once you open the documentation, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and click on run in Postman button. Remember to make sure that you're signed in, because if you're not signed in, then you will not be able to do this. Okay. So make sure you create a free account and click on run in Postman. The comment section is basically for collaboration. Basically, you can, because it is completely Git controlled. So right now what we are doing is we are forking this collection. So if you have more interesting ideas, you can create a pull request. I can approve it. And it is a complete Git control system. Okay. So yeah, you can mention, you can do discussions and so on and so forth. So it is like a complete, system like that. So what does fork means? Fork will create a copy So I'm click fork colors kind of see. Okay. As I click on force, it will redirect me to this URL where it will add a label automatically for me. Okay. So that is fine. We don't need we don't need to change the label. Whatever the label we can keep it. I usually like to keep the label as my date. So I'll add October 20. But label is just to distinguish from the parent, so nothing different there. And then for workspace, I'll select my workspace. You'll only see my workspace because that is the only workspace which is available with you right now. But you can create multiple workspaces as well. So you can select my workspace right now and click on fork collection. Okay. So click on fork collection. Don't worry, my network is also not that great. Okay. So once you click on fork collection, you will see a collection in your public workspace. Remember, because I am kind of doing this training now and then, you see a lot of copies in my folder, but in your folder, you will only see one copy. Okay. In your workspace, you will see only one copy, which is October 20 or whatever label you have done. And this is the copy which will be visible in your, workspace. I'll give you a minute to do this and then we will continue. Okay. So 1 minute for you folks to fork this and then we will continue. Once again, I'll share the URL with you folks in just in case you're not able to follow along. Go to this URL, click on run in Postman, this orange button, and then add a fork label and then fork it so that it is visible. Once you fork it, and then it will be visible in your window. So I'm gonna not save, and it will be visible here in your workspace with the current date. So you can see I am doing a lot of workspace, a lot of events. So I have a lot of them, but you will not see a lot of them. You will only see one copy of this, which is dated today. Okay, so this is 30 June. No, I need 30. I need 20 October. Where is 20 October for me? Here it is. I'll start it so that I can use it. It will appear on the top. Okay, cool. Everyone done? Give me a thumbs up in the chat once you're done. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Come on, folks. Be active. Give me a thumbs up in the chat once you're done. Yeah, you can just give me a thumbs up. That is fine. Not a problem at all. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs up in the chat. Okay, this looks good. Let's get started then. So what we are going to do is click on these three dots and open documentation, view documentation. See, very first rule of starting with something is to see the documentation. Okay, else you'll spend thousands of hours figuring out what is happening. Okay, so we don't want to do that here because we obviously have a lot of things to kind of do. So we don't want to get into that loop of trying out something without reading the documentation. Now here we have three APIs which is designed by our team: Joke API, Quote API, and Book API. Which API would you like to work with? Come on, give me a suggestion, folks. Be real quick. Which API do you want to work with? Joke API, Quote API, or Book API? Come on, be quick, be quick. Give me your opinions. Oh, my skin is blurred. Huh? Is it? Or your internet is blurred, man? Okay. Someone says joke, joke, book, joke. Fork means you're creating a copy of that. Okay. So whenever you fork a repository, then you create a copy of that repo, and then you can edit it. So here we are forking a collection. So yeah. Okay. I see a lot of joke APIs. Your typical engineers and CS background people. No one reads book. Okay. Now I see a lot of books in the chat. Book, joke. Okay. So joke is a lot more. So we'll go ahead with joke, and then we are all good. Okay. So we'll go ahead with the joke API. So on the right hand side, you can see jump to section, right? So jump to joke path so that we can start with the joke API. Okay. So this is the base URL. So copy the base URL, come back to your repository. Okay. Come back to your repo and click on get data. Click on the very first request, get data. Replace the URL here. And for joke API, we are going to add /joke. Okay. So what we are going to do, you're going to go to the documentation. This is the documentation. You're going to copy this URL, come back here, open the get data, paste it here, and add a /joke. Now hit send and tell me what do you receive in the response. I'm waiting for you folks to understand. What do you receive in the response? Yes, folks, come on. Do you receive a random joke in the response? Yes or no? No? Yes. Yes, right? What? So see, I receive a joke which says Who is a programmer? A programmer is a machine who turns coffee into good. Yeah, that's a good joke. Status code 200, meaning that it worked well. Amazing. Let me send this again. And I see another joke. What is hardware? The part of the computer which you can kick. Very, very true. Right or wrong? Yes? Yes. So what does this API return? When you query this API, the API returns a random joke. What if I want everyone to see the hardware joke? So in that case, what we will do is we will add a parameter. So we will add a path variable, which is /1, because I want everyone to see joke number 1, which is the hardware joke. So add /1 and hit enter. And give me a thumbs up if you see the hardware joke. Yes? No? How did the coder build his company headquarters? By calling constructor. Yes, inheritance. Okay. How did I become rich? By inheritance. You will get a chance to add your jokes, okay? So don't worry. Awesome. So here you can see that, yeah, I see thumbs up. So meaning that everyone got the hardware joke. So let us see joke number 10. Tell me what do you see on joke number 10? Come on, folks, real quickly. Joke number 10, what do you see in joke number 10? Yes, yes, yes. Joke number 10, what do you see in joke number 10? What is the status code? Joke not found. What is the status code? 404, right? Yes. So here you can see if I send this, it says, hey, joke not found. The joke is not available. Status is 404. It says that the request could not be found. Yes, works fine. So let me add a new request. Let me add a post request. So see, what I can do is I can click on these 3 dots. So follow me, okay, folks. This is a very, very important step. Follow me, listen to me very properly. Click on these 3 dots, click on hover on the collection, click on these 3 dots, and click on add request, number 4 option. Okay. Very simple. Hover over the collection, click on these 3 dots and click on add request. Now don't keep your request nameless. Your parents gave you a sweet name. So why do you want to keep the request nameless? So click on, type add joke. Okay. Name the request as add joke. Now I want to send something to the server. What should be the method? I want to send my joke to the server. What should be the method? Oh, sorry, my camera was closed, it seems. Let me fix that. Okay, looks like I'm back. Okay. What is the method? Come on, come on, come on. Post method. Yes, exactly. Post method. Yes. So let's add post method. Now, what is the URL? How should the URL should look like? So save before you move forward. Okay. Saving is very, very important, else you will lose your work, right? So save before you move forward. So what should be the URL? Let's look at the documentation. So the documentation says that for the post request, the URL will be same base URL and /job. Okay. So this is the base URL. Let's copy the base URL and add it here and /job. So the URL is going to be the same. Okay. Do I need a body for this? Can someone tell me? Do I need a body to send a post request? Do I need a body to send a post request? If I'm sending a post request, do I need a body? Yes, right? Exactly, Harsh. Yes. So we need a body. So what are we going to do? We click on the body tab and we click on raw. Okay. And inside raw, here we see a drop down. So in that drop down, we will select JSON. Very, very carefully see this. We will need a body to send the joke. So click on body, click on raw, and from the drop down, click on JSON. Okay. Very, very simple. Now, where will I get the structure of this body? Can someone tell me? How do I know the structure of this JSON? Where will I see the structure of this JSON? How does this JSON looks like? Where will I look? Documentation, right? So let's go and look at the documentation. So documentation, what does documentation say? This is how the JSON looks like. Okay, I'm gonna copy the JSON and I'm gonna paste it here. So this is how my JSON looks like. Okay, this looks interesting because now I have added the body. My body is a JSON body and I have added all the field. I have added all the required elements. The method is post. Should I hit send? Hit send and tell me what do you see in the response. Hit send and tell me what do you see a response. Hit send and tell me what do you see in the response. Come on, be quick. What does it say? What is the status code? What is the new status code which you discovered right now? 400. What does it mean? It means a bad request. Now, what does body says? Body says that, hey, the joke with ID1 already exists. Okay, let us change the body. Why? We cannot have a duplicate joke, right? ID is unique. It should be unique. So for the ID, you can add any ID you want, any random ID you want for 100, any positive integer is okay. Or you can use a predefined variable, okay, which is random mobile number, okay. Random. So you can use multiple variables as well. As you can see here, Postman offers variable which generates, random items as well. So for the scope of this, we will not use any variable, but we will add 102 as my ID. You add any other ID, okay? Don't add 102 only. Don't tell your ID to anyone, okay? Just keep your ID with you, else because the server is not secure, so don't tell your ID to anyone. Just keep your ID with you, okay? Change your name, okay? Don't don't use my name. I only have one name. I cannot change my name, right, for the session. So I'll use Ali Mustafa. But you can change your name because your name is not Ali Mustafa. So please keep your name, okay? Don't use my name. Leave my name alone. So select an ID, select a name, hit send. And what do you see? You should see status code as 201. If you do not see 201, you have made some error, okay? So come on, be quick. Okay, I see Ali Mustafas a lot. I see a lot of Ali Mustafas here. Okay. What about others, folks? Use your name and add your tweet. So I see a very beautiful tweet by Sayak. So let me show it to you folks as well, right? So I've also designed a UI to actually show you how it looks like. You can see bugs are features, bugs are features, bugs are features. And this is a really good joke. If it weren't for C, we did all be programming in Basi and Noble. This is not a joke, I would say, Sayak, right? Not a joke. Okay. Let me see more jokes. Anyone adding more jokes? Okay, so Dinesh has added no joke. So you can see Dinesh has added something which is called as no joke, which is also a joke. Okay. Dinesh Solanki. Who is this sugar daddy? Okay. Folks, don't misuse the power which is given to you. Okay. Let's see more jokes which are added. So create very simple, man. Create a post request. Okay. So as you can see, you can whenever you are kind of sending this, right? Whenever you are kind of uh, kind of sending your data, the data is visible to us very very easily, like over a very simple UI. Okay, so here you can see how simple it is to kind of look at it. I can see all the jokes which are kind of available here. If anyone is adding more jokes, please let me know. Okay, I see more jokes. I see one more joke which says JavaScript is easy. What a joke. Yeah, for sure it is easy. Thank you, Zishan, for that joke. Okay. Um, anyone else is adding? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Got 201. Exactly, you should get 201. Yeah, so use another ID if you get 400 again and again. Okay. Use different ID. If it is 400, then it means it is not proper. Okay. Okay. So last time we will refresh it before we move on with the next request. Okay, I also see another one, a very good joke from Sayak, which says, why is it that programmers always confuse Halloween with Christmas? Because 31 October equal to 25 December. Now, only technical people get that joke, okay? Or only true programmers get that joke, okay? Okay, this is good. Let us go and update our joke, because right now you only used my joke, right? Birds are features. So now you should update this joke. So save this. Now updating the request is almost same. The only method is going to change. So click on this three dots, click on this three dots, and click on duplicate. So it will duplicate the request. Okay, you don't need to write everything from scratch. Okay, so you can see add joke duplicate, rename this to update joke. Okay, so again I'll show you what did I do. I clicked on add joke, three dots, and clicked on duplicate. Okay, duplicate. So that duplicated this and gave me a new request altogether. Okay, now in that I'm only going to change my method to put, and then my body to my actual joke. Okay, so change your joke, update your joke. So the joke I'm going to add here is going to be, I am a full stack developer, as I will code internet. Looks good, right? A very good joke. So you can, if you don't know jokes, just Google it, okay, and then hit send. You can see I got 204. 204 means the server processed the request but did not return anything. So if I go here and I see this, the joke will be updated. Okay. Waiting for your jokes to be updated so that I can refresh the server once again. Come on, folks. Updated, updated. Let me refresh this. Programmer's wife's asking, would you go to the shop and pick up the loaf? If student returns home with 12 loaves of bread, they had eggs, he explained. Huh. Okay, I did not expect so much technical joke. See, I see this is real Ali Mustafa. Okay, all are fake. This one is the real one. HTML is good. Okay, okay. We don't want a war here, Patrick. We only want jokes. Okay. Okay. This one we have read. All of it we have read. How did the programmer die in the shower? He read the shampoo bottle instructions. Later, oh, okay, okay, okay. This one was funny. Okay, so I'll give you joke points from five onwards. Okay, I guess something is wrong with my camera. That's why it gets shut down automatically. I don't know what's wrong with it. Today it is getting like that from time to time. Let me see if it is with the USB or something like that. Okay, so I'll refresh it once again before we do the last request. Joke is joke. Nothing good. Mm, when I write this code, only me and God knows it works. Only okay. Now only God knows. Okay, this is good. So see this one. When I wrote this code, only me and God knew how it works. Now only God knows. Okay, that is good. Cool, cool, cool. So you can see how fun it is to collaboratively do stuff like that. So the last part is to delete the joke, right? So can you delete the joke using the documentation? Can you do that for me? I'll give you a minute. Can you delete the joke using the documentation, folks? See, the documentation is very simple here for delete. Can you do that for me? Remember, delete does not require body, okay? So yeah. I see one more joke. What is object-oriented way of becoming wealthy? Answer inheritance. Okay, good, good. Come on, come on, come on. Once you're done with the joke, let me know. Once you delete your joke, let me know. I'll see you on the back end anyway. So yeah. I can see a lot of people have deleted their jokes. How do robots eat pizza? One bite at a time. This is also a good one, Sejal. Okay. There are only one and zero kinds of people in this world. Those who know binary and those who don't. Yes, exactly. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None. It is a hardware problem. Exactly. Yes. Okay. Delete jokes, folks. Come on. Okay, so I'll show you quickly how to delete it. You can copy the get method because it is exactly the same. So the only change there is, you know, changing the method to delete, right? Apart from that, everything is almost same. Ah, why? What happened? The internet has. Okay, I guess something happened and the internet is not working properly. What happened? Ah, okay. So here you can see I can edit this and I can say delete joke, and then here I can mention my joke ID 102. I can hit a send and it will delete. No, it is a get request. Sorry, I need to change the method to post send, and it will say that a joke with ID 102 is deleted. Looks good. So we have deleted the joke as well, and if you see on the front end, you should see most of the jokes being deleted. As you can see, most of the jokes are kind of getting deleted one by one. Awesome. So just a recap, we learned about methods, addresses, four kinds of method: get, push, put, delete. Body data. The only problem with this API was we did not learn about authorization because this was a very, very basic workshop. But yeah, so if you want to continue learning, you can become a Postman student expert. That provides you with a lot more benefits than this. So you can go ahead on this URL and apply to become a Postman student expert. Postman student expert program is for everyone and anyone, even if you're not a student anymore. You can go ahead and you can apply for becoming a Postman student expert. So that is a program which is there for everyone. Once you become a student expert, you can also become a student leader easily without any problem. So how do you win the swag? So I'll give you a minute for everyone who has not yet deleted their joke, right? And then I'll talk about the swag part, okay? Till then, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have done with all the four requests right now. Yeah, I see the robot joke being deleted. Amazing. Give me a thumbs up, folks. Come on, be quick. Yeah, my camera got shut down. Just give me a moment. I guess there's something wrong with camera today. Okay, I see thumbs up only from few people. Where are others? This is not good. See, I have invested so much time on you folks. Give me a thumbs up before we talk about swags. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about swags. Final part of the workshop. You can win swags via two means. So I can see that there are more than 80 people in the call. So we'll give out 10 swags, 10 swags for people. Okay. 10 total number of swags, 5 plus 5. So 5 swags for challenge number 1 and 5 swags for challenge number 2. So the first competition is basically a blog writing competition. So the whole idea is that you need to write a blog about what you learned today, and then once you write the blog, what we will do is we will kind of select the top 5 winners there, and then we will give you swags directly. So you need to write a blog on any given platform like Medium, or you can use any platform, and then you can kind of go ahead and you can submit it or like tweet it. Use hashtag Postman student, and we will select the best one. We will give top 5 one the swag kit. The another one is social media challenge, which is more like if you don't have time to write the complete blog, then in that case you can write a small tweet instead, which will explain whatever you learned today. Use hashtag Postman student and DevFest India. Remember to use both the hashtags. If you do not use both the hashtag, then it is going to be a problem. So yeah, make sure you use both the hashtags for the swag competition. Okay, hashtag Postman student and hashtag DevFest India. Okay, summarize what you learned from this session, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So yeah, Blog writing competition, 5 people from there, and share your learning competition, 5 people from there. Remember to tweet it properly. Kind of add all the things properly. We will reach out to you once you have done it. So don't worry, we will reach out to the winners directly. Keep your Twitter DM on. Make sure your Twitter DM is on so that we can reach out to you directly. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining in. This was really a good session, I guess. Uh, don't forget to register for DevFest India. DevFest India is happening out, really soon. Only 2-3 days left to go. So DevFest India is the annual festival, of developers, and you will be able to see all the developers participating in DevFest. So Harsh can talk more about DevFest. So I'll leave it up to Harsh. Thank you so much for coming in and have a wonderful evening. Bye bye, everyone.
Thanks, Ali. That was a great, a really informative session. Thanks for being with us at ShapeAI. And yeah, so telling about DevFest. So DevFest is India's largest developer conference. So it is being organized by Google Developers Group. So all the 52 communities has come together to actually celebrate this annual fest. And yeah, so you can just go on and register on defestindia.com. And yeah, there is also a chance to win swag. So this time they are also giving away 75 Google Home Minis and various t-shirts. And also there are a lot of swags coming in from the communities we have collaborated with. So yeah, that would be all from me today. So thank you, Ali, for joining in, and good night.
Thank you so much. Bye bye, everyone.